fingertip length. You have a solid collared shirt on, no jeans, no baggy pants, no headgear. If you have a cell phone and in class, please be reminded that the teacher did not give you permission. The teacher can take that cell phone. If you refuse to give that cell phone up to the teacher, you will receive discipline. Also, we still have about 100 and some odd students that have not signed up for a club. Please do so today with either myself or Miss Henson. If you do not sign up for a club, then we will place you in a club. If you do not know if you signed up for a club, there are signs posted in the front hallway, the blue hall, and on the freshman hall. So please make sure that you check today. Today will be the last final day that you can sign up for a club. You may not change your club, so please do not come and ask us to do that. Again, make sure that you sign up for a club today. If you do not sign up for a club, then we will sign you up for one. Thank you and have a nice day.
No, I've seen another one. What you
Is it 3.5?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
No, it would be cold, according to the email. According to the email. In one thing. That she also said two long classes of professional. Yeah, that's my bad. So it looks like other one. You did the 18 captain.
Right.
So, yeah. Every week, long. Yeah.
So wait a minute, she works out going on. Because they told me not to send any work or anything.
Yeah, that's good nice. She's pointing at me.
Yeah, but.
Oh, now, she's doing it in misery.
Oh, I will. The question is, what am I gonna do with her and her assignment? If she's down missed, she never finished the first unit. She's missed all motions. She's now missed all forces because we test tomorrow. What are you gonna do with it?
Right.
You're not that great. And I've
I know that
asked.
you might want to find that out now.
I've asked.
Make sure you ask again.
I'm going to.
Don't wait till January to find that out. That's all I'm saying.
All right, we done? Yeah. It's fine, right here. Thank you, my dear. Did anybody else have those medical pieces of paper that I'm supposed to give to the nurse? You know, y'all all rushed to fill them out and bring them back to me. Thank you, ma'am. about now? Is that a yes, we're done, and no, we're not? Does that bother me, Miss Wall, or what? Where are we at? You're not done. I can hunt for what I'm hunting for after y'all are done. All right, how about now? Let's fold it up. It's not mixed up with 5. All right, so add up our magnesium phosphate, and you'll notice that I use the same compound just to make life easy on us. So tomorrow on the test, when you need to add up the formula mass, how many magnesiums did we have? How many phosphoruses? And how many oxygens? All right, so what's the mass of manganese? 54.94, and phosphorus and oxygen. And I'll use all the decimal places since I'm sure that's what you guys did. I'm trying to be nice today. I'm sure when I do the homework questions, I'm going to round up. Somewhere around 639.64. All right, what unit did you put on it? AMU or U. Either answer would be fine. All right, So from there to do number 2, we were given 39.42 grams, and we want to find the number of formula units, right? So 39.42 grams. What goes on the bottom? Grams. What goes on top? And then we don't want moles. We want formula units. We go another section. Moles on the bottom, and then formula units on the top. What do we know goes beside moles? What do we know goes beside grams? The mass, which we get from where? The periodic table, and we calculated it right there in question 1, right? So 639.64. And then for the formula units, what number always goes beside a formula unit? Avogadro's number, or I heard somebody started with 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. Both answers are correct, whether you say Avogadro's number or the 6.022. All right, so what'd y'all get for that? 3.71, okay, times 10 to the 22nd. Formula units. Now, if your answer does not match what I wrote down exactly, do you have 4 significant digits? And are you in the ballpark? If you are, then your answer is correct, okay? It does not have to be identical. It just has to be similar, okay? Questions about that? Yes or no? All right, number 3. I ask you to find how many molecules. Now, this is often something that people get confused. Molecules, is that the same as moles? No, it's the same as like atoms or formula units. So you're still going 3 steps in your chart. 56.4 grams. Grams on the bottom. What goes on top? Moles. What goes on the bottom? And then what goes on top? So essentially you have the same chart you just had. What goes beside the molecules?
6.023.
Molecules is the same as atoms or formula units. So you're still going to have 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, or Avogadro's number. What goes beside moles? That's going to be your 1. And then for grams, we need to do what? Calculate the mass of SO3. So how many S's are there?
1.
How many O's are there?
3.
Times 32 times 16. We're going to get 32. We're going to get 48. We're going to get a grand total of 80. Okay? So we're going to multiply and divide here. And somebody tell me what we got for this one. 4.25
Times 10.
times 10 to the what?
22nd.
22nd. And you can either write out the word molecules, or you can abbreviate MOLC, which is what I'm going to do this time because I'm running out of space. Normally I don't use it, but since I'm out of space, I'll use the abbreviation. Questions about number 3? No? Can we look at what you calculated for homework and see how we did? All right? And remember, this is the whole back page of the test tomorrow. Being able to do these calculations. All right, we're ready? All right, 1 was A. Is that right? Yeah, it was 1A. I can't remember the letters I signed. That's why I asked y'all. I'm getting old. No, I know it's a number. I just need to know the question letter. Okay, so A was 180, either U or AMU. Now, you might not be exactly 180. You should be in that ballpark. Okay? Are y'all in the ballpark? Yes? Okay. Did anybody do the wrong letter or need a different answer? Okay, I'll work it in a second. All right, 5 was B. Okay, 36 grams. Okay, so you might have like 36.04, 36.00, but somewhere in the 36 grams. You need 4 significant digits. All right, 6 was B also, right? Were they all B's?
The rest was B.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
All right, so 6B, again, you need 4 significant digits. I have 2.7. So you might have like 2.753, 2.762, but 4 significant digits around 2.7 moles. Number 7B. This one should be on the money. 0.3334 moles, or 0.33333 if you didn't round up. 8B, 5.2 times 10 to the negative 10th grams. Again, you need 4 significant digits. And the last one, 6.0 times 10 to the 22nd formula units. And you need 4 significant digits. All right, which ones do you need me to do? 5B. All right. So in 5B, it says you have 2 moles of water. Okay. So you have 2.000 moles of water. Okay. And it asks you in the question, how did they word the question? They said, what is the mass in grams of water? So what unit's going to go on the bottom? Yep. And what unit are we going to put on the top? Yep. So what goes beside moles? And water has a formula of H2O. All right. Even if you didn't know that, you would see it when it wraps around on the line on the worksheet. So how many H's are there? How many O's are there? So multiplied by the mass, and I'm just going to use whole numbers. So H has a 1. Oxygen has a 16. So you get 2. You get 16 for a grand total of 18. And so you'll put 18 there. So 2 times 18. And so 32. So I'm just going to put 0, 0 to get my 4 significant digits and then grams. Okay. Anybody else? What else in the homework's bothering you? Yeah. 6B should be around 2.7 moles. 8, somewhere in the ballpark of 5.2 times 10 to the negative 10th. 9 is 6.0 times 10 to the 22nd formula units.
Can you do number 9?
Yeah. So number 9 gave us an answer or a question of 18.75 grams. Let's keep the paper handy here. 18.75 grams, and our compound is copper 2 nitrate. All right, so what's going on the bottom? So grams goes on the bottom. What goes on the top? Okay. And if we wanted moles, we'd stop there, but it said formula units, right? So what are we going to put on the top? Or sorry, the bottom. Moles. And then on the top, we can go to formula units, right? Now, from there, what numbers do we know go next to moles? Next to formula units? So my guess is maybe you added the mass of copper nitrate up wrong. So how many coppers do you have? How many nitrogens?
2.
How many oxygens?
6.
Okay, not there. So the mass of oxygen is?
16.
Nitrogen is?
14.
Copper is?
16.
Okay, you round it up, but I don't see anything wrong with that. What's that, 96? 32, 32, and 32? 64 plus 28 plus 96. I get 188. What the book have? Make sure we're in the ballpark of what they had, man, 187.6. So if you have all of that, I'd guess it's a calculator error. You got all that? It's a calculator error. 1.75 times. Okay, I got 6.005 times 10 to the 22nd formula units. And I called out 6.0 times 10 to the 22nd. What you got?
6.003. I didn't get the 10 to the 22nd.
What'd you get?
I just got 6.003.
My guess is you missed your exponent on the end of the calculator when you did this. That's why I said calculator error, because your chart's right. Anybody else? Questions? So that would be on the test score, that'd be a -1 because it's a 4-point question. So I won't take 2 for a calculator error on that. I'd take a 1. Yeah. So 8B gives you 1.506 times 10 to the 12th formula units. So we're essentially doing the same problem, but we're doing it backwards. So what goes on the bottom? Formula units. What goes on the top? Yep. What goes on the bottom? And what goes on the top? Yep. What goes beside moles? What goes beside formula units? Yep. And then beside grams, what compound did they give us here? BaCl2. Okay. So barium, chlorine. How many bariums do we have? How many chlorines? So times 137.3 times 35.4. $172.7. No, that ain't right. Because Ms. Walt didn't say 2 times 35.4 put 70.8 like a genius. Yeah, that's right. I didn't multiply. Clearly, I missed math class that day. All right, so that's going to be a 1. Carry my 1. That's going to be an 8. That's going to be a 0. That's going to be a 2. Don't make that stupid mistake I did. See, I didn't say 2 times 35.4. I just wrote 35.4. Don't make that dumb mistake on the test. All right. Now I should be good. All right, so 1.506 second EE12 times 208.1 divided by 6.022 second EE23. I get 5.204 times 10 to the negative 10th grams. Did you not have the exponent, or did you have a calculator error?
I don't. It was around the same ballpark. I just added up. I ain't round up. So, chlorine.
Yeah.
I ain't round up.
So, what answer did you get when you did the problem? Times 10 to the. Your answer was the same. You made me work a problem you got right. Look, dude, I don't need the practice, okay? Your answer was correct. I've been doing this for 30 plus years. I know how to work these. Anybody else have a question? Yeah. Next time, just ask me if your answer's right. At least this was a short one. When we get to those 4-step charts with balanced equations, y'all need to ask me ahead of time. Is my answer right before you make me work all those? Other questions? No. So we feel okay about this because we're done with stuff for the test. All right. So let me give you the 3 papers that I have that I've not given you for the test. Okay. We're going to take, what time is it? Probably 30, 35 minutes. And then we're going to switch gears and go on to new stuff. All right. But I'm going to give you, and I will post the answers online. I do have to do the answer key for one of them though, because I'm pretty sure I don't have the answers written down. All right, let me have 3 people who are responsible. All right, I need one more. Now you look at who's got their hands in the air and who's getting out of their chair. You 3 have to make sure the people who are out of their chairs get one of these papers. Okay? Meaning I don't want them coming back up to me going, Ms. Wall, I can get one of these papers in 2 seconds. Okay? All right, come on. Not you. You're not that responsible. Yes. You just use one of your home passes.
I was trying to wait.
Time to jump up. Right.
Just take the vest. Come back to the door.
Don't forget that.
That's being worse. Feeling better?
Angel is mine.
What's the last thing you remember?
Last thing I did was the, what you probably gave me before I left. Also did one thing too, that I really don't, like, I did the work, like, I fully understand it, but at the same time, I don't.
So did you start in crisscross?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I'm trying to figure out what the papers you need.
I think that's Thursday and Friday.
Yes, Maggie. You're snitching. Snitches get stitches, come on now.
I had to stitch something out of it. We're all helping for the
That's good. Ask Ms. Curry. I've been yelled at for not decorating my door. So I slapped the superhero face. I yelled at her. Did I want to? Did I want to? I'm a conformist.
But not full frontage though.
I don't like to be wrong.
We made a mistake.
All right, did everybody get the worksheet that says counting avenues? No, you didn't get one? Or no, you're telling somebody else no? Everybody have a worksheet that says counting avenues? Now, this is the oldest stuff we did, okay? This is on protons, neutrons, electrons. On the back side, there's another little chart that has protons, neutrons, electrons. This is the oldest stuff we did. Now, the only thing that's not on here is I don't have anything about the nucleus. I don't have anything about the mass and the charge, what parts are in the nucleus, any of that kind of stuff is not on here. So it's on the test. Yes, that's why I'm pointing that out. So some of you who didn't do well on that part of the quiz, when we did that, remember that first quiz we took on this? And some of you got hammered and got like a 75 or a 70 because you got all those first 3 or 4 questions wrong. You might want to go back and look at that. And some of you didn't know what parts were in the nucleus. You didn't know what made up the mass of the atom. Go back and check that out. Okay? Now, the second paper you should have is on naming. I will tell you, this is the biggest bulk of the test. This is the most points on the test in terms of overall points. Okay? Now, you can't pass the test just being able to do this stuff. The rest of the test comes from the other parts. But this has the most point value on the test. Now, the last piece of paper I gave you was practicing what we did yesterday. Free response is all the math on this and the naming. Okay? Atomic structure is the only piece of the test is multiple choice. It makes up almost 40 points, 60 of the points for free response. It is the last part of the test that's multiple choice, other than the benchmark for the next 3 tests. Okay? The next 3 tests after this one, other than the benchmark that I'm required to give, will be entirely free response. Okay? Everybody hear me say that? Okay. Now,
I have a question.
yeah,
Is the final gonna have all multiple choice?
you want it.
You said.
And the first quarter is around house. Yes, it will be for response. I'm sorry, multiple choice. It's not for response.
Okay,
I'm about to
say.
No, it will not be for response. Unless the state does away with NCFEs. And they're still kicking it around. They're looking at it.
Wait, so does that mean that we wouldn't have a chemistry exam?
Oh, no, you have a chemistry exam. It would just be, it would be whose?
Yours.
Mine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That done not yet though.
They have not.
I like picking orange.
I like the idea of mine, but y'all don't. We've done that a few times over the last 28 years to have mine and not theirs, but most of the time it is the state's. Okay? So, and I will tell you, the curve is not as stout on mine as it is on a lot of exams. A lot of you will score very close to what you have scored in here. Okay? Just being honest. It's not a huge curve. I mean, some of you take, some classes and you take the exam and it's a tremendous curve. It's not that stout. The higher you score on the exam, the smaller the curve. Okay, now if you bomb the exam and make like a percent correct of 30, you're going to score like a 60. Okay, they're going to curve a 30 to a 60 grade. All right, but if you score like a outright 60, the 60 is only going to get curved up to like a 68. Or if you outright score an 80 is only going to get curved up to about like an 84. You score like a 90 is only going to get curved up to about a 92. Okay, there's not a huge curve on the chemistry exam. It's not that gross curve you see in some other classes. You take an earth science test, that curve is woo huge. Okay, this one doesn't turn up that way. Okay, I mean there is a curve. It's just not as steep. So work on this. If you have questions, I'm here to answer. You will not finish all of these in the amount of time that we have. It is not homework I'm going to check. Okay? My advice to you would be pick the one that you think you need the most practice on for tomorrow's test. When you look at it, which one do you think you would struggle the most with on the test? Which one do you remember the least? Which one do you want to start with? Okay? I am going to post the answers online. So if you're going to do them all, the answers will be posted on the website. As soon as I do the answers for the one, which I'm going to do now. What's the first compound on that naming one? Yep, I don't have the answers. I want to say yes to that. You vote here. And I will take care of it.
So all covalent compounds are binary?
All covalent for y'all's test and purposes will be binary. That is correct. And remember, you've got to know your 4 acids for tomorrow.
All the days I had
It's when I'm expecting them, but not there. When I go outside. Yeah.
Did you?
I'm telling you. I have questions.
Yep.
Oh, no. What?
I'm just doing that answer key that I don't have.
I know, I forgot what actually. All these. I know.
I forgot. I took some great refreshing with Alex. No, I want to because you were talking. Yes. You just got all of that. A lot of them.
Are y'all working or wasting my time? Because if you're wasting my time, I'm moving on. Because I have no need to do this right now. I can do it during my planning period. This is an opportunity for you to ask me questions. You can talk to each other about chemistry. I know it's a hot topic. You have a question for me?
Yes, Alex. Right here. I'm just taking pictures of the answer keys.
Number 4.
Number 4, no. All right, this is, all right, pencil for a second. This is a 6, first of all. Okay, and that's sulfate and you use sulfide. Okay, so you want to use SO4 with a -2, and that's a 6. So try it again, let me see. Yep.
If they were to like give us a number with the Roman numeral.
Uh-huh.
the first one,
Yep.
Do we pick the first positive number?
Which one are we talking about?
9. Like, the more I look at it, I don't know if, like,
What's 9 say? I don't remember it.
silicon dioxide.
Uh-huh. It's
Like,
old
it doesn't
system
say-
naming.
It doesn't say mono at all. But I'm guessing the first one's 1.
It is because it doesn't have a prefix on it. Very good. Excellent. Remember, if the first element does not have a prefix, it's always 1. Yep. Yep. It's cesium.
Okay.
It's a typo.
Just wondering.
I think I need to do that also because I think I have a key to it.
How do I figure out the mess?
You got to write the formula. So crisscross the oxidation numbers and write the formula, and then you can add up the mass. They going off over there?
Looks right. Yes.
Okay.
Just turn it off. I'm not gonna take it.
No, it is scared. Okay. I forgot. The first one.
You come to see me. Maybe I can figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we just ever ask for just the max and so money. That's good.
That help?
Yes.
See, I'm better at it.
Yeah.
Well, I get big bucks.
I mean. Oh my God, why did you do that?
Y'all quit dropping the calculator.
Yep. Does what? Yes, you did.
What is this, like on this one, the counting items? It says find the max, like, is that what we've been doing, or is that?
Correct. You just have an element there and not a compound. It's the same thing. You just have an element, not a compound.
So I find the mass on here and then multiply by that number?
Brina, here's your homework sheet back. There you go.
What else did I miss? I know that's a couple places.
Alright, you've got the quiz on naming. That will be covalent naming of compounds. You have a quiz on naming of the ionic compounds. You have a quiz on mole conversions and average atomic mass. As far as I can tell, that appears to be it. Okay.
I'm confused.
You did.
How you found
You just draw a normal chart. Huh. That's 0.26 moles. Moles. Grams. 1 mole. We need to look up your 26.98 grams off the periodic table and multiply.
What about this one? Same thing?
Yeah. 4.58 moles. Try to get your homework. It's on the bottom.
Both.
And then your atoms on top. Those are submoles.
One.
Those are sub atoms.
6.2. So how is that different?
It's not. They're all the same. The only difference is those are elements, not compounds. So you don't have to add up anything. You just look on the periodic table to get the element mass instead of adding it up. That's all that's different. Huh? And that should be yes. And that should be yes. And off the top of my head, so. Option one. I'm going with yes on that. Get ready to put it on the website and I'll have access to it. I don't get it, my scanner, which I just scanned. What's that? That's 2, plus your 210. 120, 62, 28. My guess is you add 40 and multiply, you get 120. Yeah, that's gonna be wrong because I use that 230, that should be 10. What's that is 110. My guess is you didn't say 120. If you said equal 62, equal 128, then you say equal 120 there. So I'm betting that's why it's not 310. That's fine. Figure out what this one. If that would be times 10 to the third, and that should be times 10 to the fourth. Actually, I'm not calculating. That's off the decimal. And this one's not right. That's not read the question. Tell me what this is in. Yeah, this is right now. That means 0 behind it. All right, that's in what unit? And you changed it to what? Yeah. Yeah, no. So you would change that to there, get rid of that and that. And then you just go this to that. All right, here, punch this in the calculator, because I have this calculator or two, figure out the decimal. Yep. One there. Now, for significant digits. All right. Okay. So you need 3 significant digits. Make it 1, 5, 3, 0. Okay. Make this 2, 2, 4, 4, 0. Or if that bothers you, put in scientific notation. Okay. Mode, side, hammer, clear, hammer. 1.53 times 10 to the 30 grams. Okay, and then it's easier to last your 3 significant digits. I won't take off if it's in scientific notation. I don't change the unit to grams and they give it to you in moles. And this is a common mistake when people don't go ahead and multiply and calculate. They just add from that 40 straight down the column. So be careful with that on the test. But the processes are pretty much right. One and two, all right. Three is, all right. The fifth one there is, and moles in it. What was the sixth one? Every chart should have moles in it. I can tell you number 6 is at least punched in wrong. All right, I'm thinking the answer for number 5 is right. Remember, you will not draw a chart that does not have what in it? Yes. Gotta have moles in it. Right, so, when you draw a chart, it's gotta go from grams to what to what? Yes, got to.
Did I get these first couple?
That's right. This one. The only thing I see wrong is number 6 is mass. Because it gives you sulfur. You used 180. Well, I used 180.
I did 32 and or 7.6.
Why?
To get the mass.
Why would you do that?
The comment mass times the number of grams.
You already put the top of the 62 there. We just went over here right there, we get the mass of sulfur. Right
So
there.
what's the difference between this and this one?
Which one was it?
The first one where I had to multiply.
You didn't, you just looked right there and got its mass converted down in that block. I just wrote it from 6.98 in a block, because that's the mass converted there too. And then multiply that. Look it up and right there.
So. this
Just
one
like
here.
here. So here, I assume you wrote the answer, but let's fix this chart. So here, where you need the grams of strontium, we just look up here, strontium, and we say strontium's mass is 87.62. So we write 87.62 right there. So here for sulfur, we're gonna look up the mass of sulfur, and we're gonna go, sulfur is 32.06, and we're gonna write 32.06.
So there's no multiplying for mass values?
Not for a single element, because they don't have any subscripts. So you just look up their mass and run it down.
What was the answer was?
The answer was close on that one above it, because it was that 400 and something thousand, so because it was so big, that 87 didn't make a difference.
Okay. But the second one?
The second one was, it made a difference. Anybody else have a question? We'll stop you shortly, Eric. I'm giving you more than I planned to. Because y'all can ask me questions. You leave at 9:55. Huh? It's not called that. I told you it's Thursday.
She said on the phone call that we're having something.
It's on Thursday.
That's all.
They moved it because they thought it would be disruptive to have the day after their workday. I'm not in charge, I'm just telling you what they told us.
I'll look at ready for those.
It's Thursday. Yes, sir. That's what now? Yes, you did. Let's see what you got. Yes. Yes. Much better. Much better. And it won't matter in the multiple choice because I won't be looking at your multiple choice work, but on your free response work, I will be looking at the work. Okay? And you don't want to lose points on that.
For number 7, does it matter what element it is?
Number 7. No, what number 7 says. Give me a little more than that.
How many atoms were there in 2.89 moles of potassium?
Potassium.
Like, cause I did 2.89 on top, and I put moles on the bottom, and I put atoms on top. But don't you just put that 6.02 number?
Yeah.
So the potassium is sort of irrelevant?
You just don't use it because you don't have grams in your chart anywhere. All right.
So when we're naming it, we'll be naming it like in old system, like.
You can only name old system if what?
If it's a.
If it's what? Kind of compound. That's right. It's two non-metals. It's covalent. So if you're going to think about using the prefixes, make sure you've gone through and said, okay, this is non-metals. I can name it with old system. Because if it's not old system, can you name it that way? No. That's the downside to it. Okay, so when you look through that whole list of, here, bring your paper, because I don't have one in front of me. So when you look at that whole list here, all right, and you want to write the names. How many of these can you name an old system? You can do it with manganese? No, because that's a metal.
Oh, it has to be
It has to be non-metal, so that's right. So as soon as you wrote that dioxide, gone. -2. Now, where's nitrogen at? That would be eligible. What about C? That would be eligible. What about nickel? That's right. What about copper? What about iron? What about strontium? You got 2 out of the 7.
And what
Yep. Yep. And then you better check if it's been reduced, got oxygen on it. That could have been reduced. Okay. But there's only 2 that you can do an old system on that list. Okay? Everything can be done stop. There's only 1 on the test. I have flat out said it has to be an old system.
GCM on the here.
It's cesium. Typo.
You said atomic number is the same as protons and electron counts?
Yes. Yep. Can you get some water? Sure. Sure. All right. You're gonna draw a chart. You got 7.28 moles. You put moles in the bottom. And then you're going to go. This is always grams. The grams here. Now what goes inside moles? Right? So we always get grams. Yep. So look up aluminum. What's its atomic mass? Right, 26.98. Check. Okay, that's all there is to it. Do you have any grams anywhere in the chart? You don't go use the mass of zinc anywhere in there because you have no grams. It would not. If you want, you have to put it down here, yes. And you put moles behind it because you found moles. Alright, I want to talk about something new. Alright, so find a stopping point. And you can look at the answers online tonight. I've put all 4 keys in Dropbox and I'll load them up to the website here very shortly. Okay? Because we're going to do something easy. What the heck Roman number is that?
I know I have this.
What Roman number are you trying to give me?
This.
Okay. Still give me your blue card. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a tip that I'm about to give out Margaret, so she's not in an advantage the rest of y'all are not at. What's the greatest Roman number y'all will see on the test? Okay, as long as everybody, I thought I'd said it, but I just wanted to make sure everybody had the same test. So you will see that tomorrow. Okay, if you get something crazy like that, you know you got an error. Go back and look at it. Right there.
Oh, so.
Was it reduced? So what came for? Yes, exactly. So if you get something weird like that, recheck some numbers. All right, the last thing we're going to do today is percent composition, which is one of the easiest kind of calculations we can do because it builds on something you already know and you've all done it in math class for years. Okay? So it's a nice, easy one to end the day on that everybody will be able to do. Tomorrow, we're going to test, and on Thursday, we're going to learn how to do empirical and molecular formulas. And I told you that we're going to do a magnesium lab. That's going to be sometime next week. Because the magnesium came in. I just got to figure out what day we're going to do it. Does anybody have any weird field trips next week? No? Okay, that always helps when we don't have any of that going on. All right. So percent composition. Finding percent composition is determining the percent of each element by mass in a compound. Now, this is very similar to something you guys already know. For example, if I said that we wanted to find the percent males in class, you guys would tell me what two things would we need? Okay, we would need the number of students. What else would we need? Okay. Now, what would we do with these two things to calculate the number of males by percent? What would we do with those two numbers that you just told me we needed? All right, what would we divide by? Well, how would we arrange the numbers? Okay, we would do the number of males over the total students. And then what would we need to do once we divided? If we want a percent. We could move the decimal, but it's easier to just do what? Multiply by 100, okay? So everybody knows how to do this. You guys have been doing it in math class for years. So we're going to use that same concept, except we're going to apply it to the mass of a compound, okay? Sounds hard, but it is so not hard, okay? We're going to do the exact same thing. And we're going to do it in an easy fashion. Everybody can do this, okay? It's not on the test tomorrow, by the way. Everybody caught up? Can I turn the page? See a couple of people writing. Got it, Anthony, or you give me away? You sure? All right. So let's say we have a compound like Na2SO4. What two pieces of information would we need in order to find the percent of each element? Mass of what? The mass of what?
The compound.
Okay, we need the mass of the compound. And what else? That's like the total students. Yes. Okay. And the mass of each element. That's like the mass over the number of males. Okay. Those are the two things we need. So how do you
think would be the easiest way to set this up based on things we've already learned this week? Or really last week, because today's the first day of the week. What did we learn how to calculate last week that would go with what y'all just told me to find? The mass of the compound. So let's take Na, S, and O. How many NAs do I have? How many S's? How many O's? And we're going to use whole numbers just because it's easier on our math. All right, sodium's a 23, sulfur's a 32, oxygen's a 16. It's going to make 46. It's going to make 32. This wall wrote 0 instead of 4 like a genius here. 4. That's going to be 32, 32, 64. That's going to be 6 and 6 will be a 2. Carry by 1. 5, 8, and 6, 142. That's why I use whole numbers. I can do the math in my head. All right. So, how many different answers, first of all, are we going to have? We're going to have 3 because we're finding 3 different percents. So, to do this, we're going to have the mass of the element over the mass of the compound times 100. Because it's like we said earlier, it's the mass of the males, or the number of the males, over the number of the students would be the mass of the compound. So, for sodium, what is the mass of sodium? 46. Why don't I use the 23? That's right, because there's 2 sodiums, so I have to take all of the sodiums, okay? I can't just take one of them. I have to take the whole amount of sodium, which is 46. All right, what's the mass of the compound? 142, and then I multiply by 100 to get a percent. Now, for sulfur, what's the mass of sulfur? 32. Y'all are kind of shy today. What's the mass of the compound? 132. And then times 100. And then for oxygen, 64 divided by, and then times 100. Now, when I get my percents, what should all the percents add up to be? They should add up to be 100. Now, when you check, if they add up to be 99, do you need to chase down that extra percent? No. Now, given this was the question, do our number of significant digits matter? No, they don't. So some people like to take it out to 1 decimal place. So I'll take it out 1 decimal place, but it really doesn't matter. If you want to, great. If you want to round to whole numbers, great. Does not matter to me. Now, what unit are we putting on these? I heard it, Sailor. Percent. Because we're finding the percent composition. So they all get percent signs. Like that.
Do we necessarily have to round like that?
No.
Okay.
That's what I said. It's close. Some people will use whole numbers. Some people might take it out 2 decimal places. It should be in the ballpark. Okay? And remember, you'll be showing me your work so I can see if you did it right or wrong. Questions about how to do that? Pretty easy, isn't it?
Wait, so the answer
Is what's in purple?
So we always multiply by 100.
Yes, so you get a percent. Or you can slide the decimal if you prefer. 2 places. I just multiply by 100. I think it's easier to teach people that in class because you do the same thing in all math classes.
So what was the question? What is the percent of?
What's the percent composition of sodium sulfate? You'll be right question out of the next one.
No, that doesn't matter. I forgot what was going on in that one.
Okay. So here's one for y'all to try. All right. I'll write the question for Catherine. What? Can't believe I knew I was going to do it. Caroline.
Oh.
I'm going to get it wrong with Almaja too. I just haven't done it yet. What is the percent composition of, let's see, let's do it on parentheses. What is the percent composition of copper nitrate? Okay. So you'd have 3 answers because there are how many elements? 3. And believe it or not, this is usually one of the most missed questions on the test because people forget how to do this one, even though it's really easy. Yeah, CU. And then NO3. I had to write clearly. That mass in my head. All right, you got an answer? All right, what'd you get for copper?
32.
All right, I got around 33.8 also. Everybody in that ballpark? 34, 33.8, somewhere around that. All right, what'd you get for nitrogen? 14.8, somewhere in that ballpark, 14, 15. All right, and the last one? Somewhere around 51. All right, everybody there. Now, your homework is to do what? Study for the test. Okay? I will post all 4 answer keys because one's the back side is a separate answer key on that one. I will post all 4 answer keys on the website here very shortly. So you have the answer keys for those of you who are still working on those who want to check your answers. Put your calculators in the bucket. I will be here today and tomorrow for makeup work. I apparently have a meeting on Thursday.